there, today we'll go into apoptosis, the programmed cell death pathway explained through our house demolition system analogy, but with Robin's level detail. Okay, let me try. I'm not committing anything right here. Let me just try. Okay, so let's begin. Apoptosis is the favorite question, and it's like not confusing but indeed vast. So let's simplify. Apoptosis is the smart house demolition. Each cell is a house. The body doesn't want messy explosions like necrosis. Indeed, it uses a half deconstruct system that is clean, energy dependent, and avoids inflammation. Two main signals order demolition. We have two of them: intrinsic from the outside and intrinsic from the inside and extrinsic from the outside. So extrinsic, death receptor pathway, and it comes with the doorbell. Triggered when the neighbors like cytotoxic T cells, NK cells, or immune surveillance rings the death doorbell. So the doorbell is the fast receptor or TNF receptor. When the fast ligand binds fast receptor, adapter proteins join. So these proteins are like FADD, so they are going to join. And this is going to activate caspase 8. And caspase 8 is the switch that starts the demolition. And then we have our intrinsic pathway. So it's mitochondrial and it's vault inside house. It's triggered when the house itself is too damaged and it realizes it itself. Like if the DNA damage is so bad, P53 is activated, causing apoptosis. And growth factor withdrawal or protein misfolding will lead to ER stress and then apoptosis. And then hypoxia. The vault, that is the mitochondria, opens, releasing cytochrome C into the cytosol. So this cytochrome C is binding to APAF1, that is apoptotic protease activating factor 1, and it forms an apoptosome. This structure is activating caspase 9. So the different pathways are now compiling here, and this is the execution phase. Here we could see our demolition team coming into action. Both intrinsic and extrinsic pathway convey on executioner caspases, that is 3 and 6. These cut up like nuclear scaffold, DNA and cytoskeletal proteins. So the DNA is cut via endonucleases. Ladder-like DNA fragments are seen on gel electrophoresis. End result, house neatly cut into apoptotic bodies. And finally the garbage collection, that is the removal phase. It cannot be kept there like there lying disturbing the neighboring houses. So someone has to clean it. So here comes these apoptic bodies are wrapped in the membranes with signals like phosphatidylserine flipped outside. This is the garage tag macrophages recognize, that is the phosphatidylserine. Macrophages come and quietly clear the debris, so no inflammation. And we have regulators for this. BCL2 family, that is the safety officers. Pro-apoptotic, yeah, I was right. So backs and back. They punch holes in the mitochondrial membrane to release these kids out. And anti-apoptotic, BCL2 and BCLXL, they keep the vault closed, not causing the intrinsic pathway to happen. And we have sensor, bad BIM and BID. They sense stress and tilt the balance. Finally, P53, the house inspector. He decides when the damage is beyond repair and activates backs and back that pokes hole into the mitochondria, leading to apoptosis. So physiological roles. Normal house demolition, it occurs during embryogenesis to remove web defeat, hormone dependent involution like endometrium after the menses and breast after the lactation, deletion of self-reactive lymphocytes preventing autoimmunity, and to maintain the cell population in the tissue, especially in intestinal crypt turnover. And pathological roles, it happens if the DNA is damaged in case of viral infections like hepatitis B and C, protein misfolding diseases, due to ER stress and Alzheimer's or Parkinson's and tumor repression. Many chemo drugs act by inducing apoptosis. And what the house looks like when demolished. So the cells shrink. Unlike necrosis, in necrosis the cells swell. In apoptosis, the cells shrink, and the chromatin condenses, causing pycnosis and karyoresis and formation of membrane blebs. Apoptic bodies are formed, no leakage and no inflammation. So here, if we want clinical points, so we could say follicular lymphoma. Here, a T14 and 18 translocations happens, so overexpression of BCL2 is seen, and this will lead to failure of apoptosis. And caspase mutation, so defective apoptosis in autoimmune lymphoproliferative syndrome. Excess apoptosis, it's in neurodegenerative diseases. Viral proteins like HPV-E6 inactivate p53. This leads to reduced apoptosis, and it's a marker of cancer. So to recap, we have two pathways: intrinsic, the death doorbell, and I'm sorry, I've messed it up again. So extrinsic, the death doorbell, and intrinsic, the mitochondria. You could see Bax and the other guy acting here, and both activate caspases, and the executioner phase comes and it forms apoptic bodies. It's controlled by BCL2 family. Physiologically, it's for development and immune regulation. Pathologically, it's to control DNA damage, infections, degenerative diseases, and cancer. Always clean, energy dependent, and no inflammation. That's apoptosis, the precise programmed self-destruction that balances life and death in our tissues.